Hi everyone, this is Karen. I just tried to go live a second ago and it didn't let me do it, so I had to start a new stream. Um, anyway, I wanted to say hello. I'm going to let people drop in before we get started, but I am going to post a welcome. I see one person stopped in. I'm going to sit here and work for a little bit until I get a couple people here and we're going to get started. Just chatting. Let me know what you're working on. I have a Tunisian crochet project that I'm working on. If you're here and you've ever taken my, oops, I'm going to turn around so you can see the front, my Tunisian short row shawl class. I'm making another one that's a little more dramatic. It's black and white with some sequins in there, and I'm about just under halfway through it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I guess I'm just starting the second half. So I'm excited to work on this because I've had it for a while and I have put it aside for other projects. So today I just thought I'd work on this while we were chatting. So if you're here, I see there's one person here. Go ahead and let me know where you're streaming from. That'd be awesome. And tell me what projects you're working on. Sometimes with this, this yarn has a little bit of a halo to it, and it makes the glide a little hard with these stitches. Oh, I don't know where everyone is this morning, but I thought I would see how you guys are all doing. Are you surviving the stay in place? It's getting kind of crazy over here. I'm getting a little bit stir crazy. Is really there's a lot to do around here, and we're doing a lot of stuff, but it's been kind of hard to deal with lately. So I don't know how to even explain it. It's just been really hard to deal with. So anyway, you'll probably notice in the background, I got a lot of boxes and stuff going on, and you'll notice my yarn behind me is all in tubs now. Just so you guys know, things are a little nuts in my house because we are actually getting ready to put our house on the market. I haven't told a lot of people yet, but I think it's time to let you guys know what's going on around here. Back in, I want to say, hi Gina, I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad you were able to pop in. I was just telling everybody my office is kind of in boxes right now because we're getting ready to put our house on the market. We're moving to the Tri-Cities area of Washington, hopefully at the end of June, beginning of July. It was kind of a spur of the moment kind of decision that we made back in I want to say it was late January, early February, that we knew our daughter was staying on that side of the state, and we were ready to get into a different house, a newer construction. Actually, we found the house we want. It won't be, it's going to be built, which I'm really excited, but it won't be built until, I don't think they're going to start construction until late summer. So we're putting our house on the market now, and then we're going to be moving over to the area and renting for a little while. but I wanted to let people know because I am I'm slowing down with my social media. I mean, even though I've been doing these weekly chats, and I'm going to continue to do these as long as I can. I actually am getting a huge bedroom. We're moving into a 4-bedroom house because our daughter's going to live with us until she gets married, and we don't have a wedding date yet. So it won't be until at least 2021. So I will have a bigger room than what you're seeing here, which I'm really excited about. And it'll have a really cool walk-in closet where I can put a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm so excited about that. But in the meantime, it'll be in a rental until the house is finished. And we'll see what happens then. I don't know. But I just want to let everybody know that I am going to slow down a little bit with my social media. I'm planning on doing these chats as long as I can. You might miss a couple weeks at the time of the move, but other than that, everything's going to go along right now through the end of May, beginning of June as normal. Just I might be a little more quiet on social media. So just so you guys know. But yeah, I'm so excited that you guys could be here. And first thing I want to do is I want to talk about my new book coming. We've talked about it just about every week that I've been online. And Modern Italian Lace Crochet. It's coming. Pre-sales are going to start for my newsletter subscribers on May 18th. So if you subscribe to my newsletter, you will get the first shot at the goodie bags that come with the book. And there's the first 100 orders are going to get a goodie bag. And there's a few things that I haven't gotten yet, so I can't show you what's going to be in the goodie bag, but there's going to be a few things. Hi, Karen. Good to see you. But the one thing I can show you, and I promised you last week that I would have them by now, is this is my custom stitch marker for the, oops, it's backwards. Got it the wrong way. I always do a custom stitch marker for every release of my books. And the first 100 people will get one of these stitch markers. It is actually a olive branch that was done. I believe she has like a Glow Forge or something that makes these for me. It's a new to me stitch marker maker. Her name is Sunrise Grove, I believe. Sunrise Grove, yeah. I always say Summer Grove, but her name is Summer, so I always get it confused. She's actually a local to me person. She has a website. You can go to sunrisegrove.com and see all the other things she makes. She makes gauge checkers and all sorts of stuff. So she even has some really cool sock blockers that I keep eyeing, going, I need to get one of those, at least one. But this is the stitch marker, and I thought I'd show you my collection of stitch markers now. So, oops, where'd my last one go? Oh, I took it off because I wanted to show you guys. This comes with a lobster claw clasp. I don't have a really great focusing camera today. So, but it's a lobster claw. So for crocheters, it's great for marking your stitches. If you're a knitter, you can use it for like the row counter stitch marker. But it is the 4th in our collection, my collection of stitch markers. And I gotta get them in order here and put them on so you guys can actually see. Oops, that's weird. How did that happen? Okay, let me organize these a little second here. Okay, so I'm going to put this on here too so you can see them, all 4 of them together. So I started with my Garden of Shawls book. I decided because I was doing a first book, I would do a commemorative stitch marker. And the first one I did, if you were in on that, was the actual owl that is my logo for Occhi Blue Press. For those of you, and I know Gino probably liked this, my nonno, when I was growing up, my grandfather used to call me Occhi Blue because I had blue eyes. And he used to sing me this little song that said Occhi Blue. I can't sing it. I can tell you the words. It's Occhi Blue Nosino Su a 3 anni poco più ti si chiama Caterina, because I was Caterina. Karen in Italian is Caterina. And so the song is eyes of blue, nose turned up. isn't more than, and then whatever my age was, I used 3 because I remember that so well, as being 3 and him saying that. And then they call her Katerina or Karen. So my company is called, or my imprint is called Aki Blue Press. So that's my little owl. Oh, there you go. There's cleared up. Is my little owl with the winking eye. And then when Coastal Crochet came out, I had another one. And the first 3 were done by Ann Tudor. They're all glass. She does them at the torch. So for Coastal Crochet, we did a starfish, a little blue starfish that kind of matched the book. And then last year when Pineapple Passion came out, we had a pineapple. And then this year we have the cute little olive branch. So who knows what will happen with my next book, but those are the 4 right now. So if any of you are collecting these, you've got a chance to get a new one. So I'm very excited to show you guys that. What are you guys working on? Tell me what you're working on. For those of you who came in late, I am working on a Tunisian short row scarf. This is a class I actually teach. And I started this back in February. Here's the, thanks Gina. It is a fun little story. My nono is that I still hear his voice in my head singing that song. So, I mean, even when I was in my 20s, he would sing that to me. So, and I was the only one that was Katerina in the family. So I was the only one he sang that to. But that's what I'm working on. I'm trying to finish this one up because I wanted something. I have a bunch of samples for my class, but I don't have one that I can wear. And I thought, you know what? I really like the black and white. It goes with everything. So that's what I'm working on. Karen's working on a Tunisian shawl and something pattern. I don't know what that is. Andy Ping pattern. I don't know what that is, Karen, but the last one it says. But that's what I'm working on right now. I started it in February. Haven't had much time to work on it. So I thought it would be nice to pull it out while I was chatting with you guys. Hi, Greg. I love the black and white too. It's very, very, it's very, very dramatic. So, that's why I kind of like it too. It'll, you know, if I'm wearing, especially if I'm teaching classes, if I'm wearing, because you tend to wear either all black or all dark colors. Sorry, Greg, I'm here talking crochet, so I'm taking you off. Okay, that happens from time to time. So he's gone now. Oh, typing pattern. There you go, Karen. I see. But I tend to wear either like a solid black or dark colors when I'm teaching. And let me hang on a second. He's put the user in. Report. Okay. Hopefully we'll be done with those guys. Anyway, so I wear dark colors, and if I'm wearing a dark color, I think this would be really dramatic. And then it'll go with everything I wear. I mean, if I have my red on or my navy blue or royal blue, whatever, I think that'll be fun. So, how are you guys doing with the pandemic? Staying at home? Is everybody feeling good? I'm a little dealing with allergies these last few weeks. So the pine trees have been releasing pollen, and I am sensitive to cottonwood trees. I don't know if you guys have cottonwood trees on the East Coast, but here on the West Coast we have them, and they blow this cotton that every time it happens, I'm sneezing. So if I start sneezing, it's allergies. I'm healthy. I'm fine. So anyway, anybody? Oh, red lipstick. Red lipstick. Oh, with the shawl or with the scarf, Karen? Is that what you're talking about? red lipstick with the scarf? Or is that the color you're working with? I don't know what you're asking. Yes. Yes to what? Sorry, Karen, red lipstick on me while I'm wearing the scarf, or red lipstick is the yarn you're using? Anyway, one of the things I want to talk about is last week I did my live on YouTube, on Facebook. I can't remember. Everything is running together right now, guys. So I've got so much going on. You need a black and white scarf. Yes. But I did my live on Facebook last week, and I find I have less interaction with people on Facebook than I do here. So I'm going to continue to do my live streams on YouTube. So I wanted to let you know that that's what's going on. Ah, gotcha. Gotcha. Anyway, so what I'm going to try to do every week is talk about a couple of things that maybe came up in the previous week. And last week we talked about online classes, and the people who were there gave me some really good feedback on what type of classes they'd like to see. So I thought today I would show you one of my favorite classes that I teach, and that if you guys are really interested in any of these classes, any of my classes, let me know which ones they are that you're interested in. I've already got a list started, but this is one that didn't come up, and I thought this would be a good, easy first class for me to actually video and teach live. And I'm probably, when I do my first class, I probably will ask for, oh, okay, very weird. Hang on, guys. I don't know. Okay, I don't know what with this guy, but I'm going to do my best to get rid of him. Anyway, what is going on? Remove report. I don't know how to get rid of him, guys. So just ignore him, I guess, is the best thing to do. Okay. Okay. We'll see how that works. Anyway, I'm still learning about how to do all this stuff. So anyway, when I do my online classes, I'm thinking what I'm going to do is like a beta test, and I'm going to invite like 10 or 15 people who are interested in taking the class and do like a trial run, and it'll be free for those people. So if you're interested in any of this, let me know. But the class I was thinking about doing is because I get a lot of questions about this through my website, because I use them a lot in my patterns, is foundation stitches instead of chaining, doing the foundation stitches. And I call the class Laying the Groundwork, because your chain is the foundation of everything you build. So the very first row is built on the chain, and a lot of people struggle with the chain being too loose or too tight, and you have the curve happening. You're making a blanket, and all of a sudden the bottom is curving like this because the chain's too tight and everything is looser on top. So I like to teach this way of doing things, and I do in most of my patterns. It depends on what you're working on. Sometimes these foundation stitches just don't work for what you're doing. A lot of shawls that I work side to side may not have these stitches just because of the way the construction is. But for just about everything else, I use the foundation stitches. So I thought I'd show you my samples, what I teach in the class. So here is the single crochet foundation, and we'll learn that. But look at how stretchy that is. That allows you a lot of leeway with how tight or how loose your stitches are. So the first one we would learn is the foundation single crochet. Then I teach the foundation half double. I try to teach all basic stitches because these are the most common. So there's your foundation half double, and look at, again, stretch. And I use these a lot in socks. All three of these first three, the single foundation, the half double foundation, and now this is the double foundation. Again, look at that stretch. Yay, Gina, I am really excited to start teaching some virtual classes. I mentioned that I was moving at the beginning of the video, and I probably won't start teaching classes till I'm settled into whatever rental I'm in, but that'll give me time to figure out exactly what equipment I need and to set up and how I want to run these classes. So, and then I have to get my book launched first. The book is like I've got boxes of books over there that you can't see in the video that need to be dealt with. So we'll get to that. And then I teach, now this one you may have seen before. Oh my good Lord. Okay, guys. Anyway, this is called the Eyelet Foundation. And I couldn't remember exactly what I called it. I use this in a lot of patterns that start from the center out. You know, so I do ones like a shawl, it works from one side, and then I come back and do exactly the same thing on the other side. My ripple shawl actually uses something similar to this. And I have another shawl, and I'm trying to remember which one it is right now that I know for a fact uses this. But literally, this is just a foundation that you work it as long as you need it to be, and then you start working on one side, and when you're done with that, you start working on the other side, and you get these little, it's hard to see with this worsted weight yarn, but you get little eyelets in here. So there you go. You see those in there? So that is the next one I teach. Then I teach, this is the one that everybody loves, because once we start getting into these, the ideas of how to use foundation stitches are endless. This is a V-stitch foundation, and you're literally doing the first row of V-stitches. Can you see that V-stitch right there? Along with the chain spaces in between each V-stitch. And once you learn how to do this, you can think about all of the other lacy stitches that you would want to do with this type of foundation. And again, look at the stretch in there. This is the base of it. I'm going to grab the ends of the base, and you can stretch, and you have a lot of space in there. And then here's one that's similar. It's the granny square. If you wanted to do the granny of the stitch, you know, where you would work every other row with the grannies in here. Here you can do it again with that. I teach that. And then the final stitch I teach is the mesh. And this is just a double crochet mesh. But while we are talking about, hi Brad's mom, good to see you. I'm glad you stopped in and we're able to do that. Anyway, this is the mesh stitch. And again, you've got you're working your foundation chain and the first row of double crochet mesh with the chain spaces in between both top and bottom. So is this a class you guys would be considered, you would consider taking as a first trial run type of class for my my new online platform, teaching platform? I was just talking about my classes, Brat's mom. I'm gonna start teaching classes later on. Probably in July or August is when I'm going to start doing some online classes. So I was trying to get some ideas of what class to do first as a trial run that would be a free class. And this might be one of them. So I was just showing you guys what you think. Do you guys like foundation stitches? And do you use them? Do you know how to do all these extra type of stitches? I mean, I have more than just those, but those are usually the 6 or 7 that I teach in the class when I'm teaching the class live. So we could always do something that allows you to. So the one class, yes, that would be all the foundation rows. Yeah. What I would do, the way I'm thinking about doing it is videoing the tutorials, and then, you know, each class session we would do a live call with, you know, where you can watch the video and then have a chat with me, and I can do them live again with you and answer any questions and that kind of thing. I mean, that's kind of where my mind is working right now, but I might even do them just as a Zoom class, and just see how the Zoom class works. So, but yeah, it would be, I'd probably do multiple lessons. I wouldn't do them all in one class. I mean, there's just, it's too long to do a 3-hour class online, not just for me, but for you guys, because there's a, hi, Anna Luisa. Oh, from Mexico, welcome. Welcome, I'm glad you were able to join me. Now, where was I? Oh, 3 hours is hard for me as a teacher online because I can't see what you're doing. But then not being able to give you one-on-one as I do in live classes, it's easier if I just do it, you know, have one lesson for, let's do the single crochet foundation, and then the next lesson would be the half double, and the next one would be the double, and then I'd go into the fancier stitches. Each one would be different. Maybe we do one a week or twice a week or something like that. So just so that you guys have enough time with each stitch. So does that make sense, Gina? Learning Zoom is cool too. Yeah, I think I want to try both ways, using Zoom and using you know, a recorded platform, because eventually what I'd like to do is be able to have classes that you can buy on demand. So I would have the class recorded, and you could, you know, take it anytime you wanted to. It's not necessarily have to do it live with me. But every once in a while I would offer the live classes as well, so that you, because I don't want you guys to feel like, oh, Karen's going to be this teacher who is always just wanting to sell her classes and it's all pre-recorded and we never have any contact. I'm not that kind of teacher. If you've ever taken a class from me live, and Karen, I know Karen McKenna can attest to this, that I am the teacher that after class is over, I have students calling me or asking me questions on email, and I am so glad to work with you even after the class. My job as your teacher is not over when the class is over. So I love that. Oh, yay, good, Gina. Okay, awesome. You know, I'm just throwing these out there because this is something that's been swirling in my head as I'm packing boxes back here, you know, of how am I going to do this? So I thought I would talk to you guys about it. I mean, the best way for me to know what you guys want and need is to give you the opportunity to talk to me about it. So yeah. Awesome. Anybody have any classes? I mean, I don't know how many of you have looked at my page on my website. I sent out a social media link last week. And then I think I also have it in my newsletter that's coming out on Friday. Yes, I do have it in my newsletter that's coming out on Friday. And I will, you can look at my page and tell me what classes you're interested in. But even if there's not a class that you're interested in that I already teach live, if you have an idea, I mean, I don't teach planned pulling, but I'm willing to give it a shot to see if that's something you want to do. I don't do a lot of advanced cables, but if that's something you'd like me to teach you guys, I can do that. Because my cables class is a basic cable class for those people who have trouble keeping their counts. I think that is the biggest issue with any cable, and that's why you start with simple cables. Because if you can't keep your counts straight with your cables, why teach advanced cables? So if you have any ideas that you want, because I know a lot of my followers especially are more advanced crocheters, and I am so happy to teach classes that are a little more advanced too. So let me know anytime. You can always shoot me an email or whatever. So I love to hear that. So what else is going on with you guys? I had asked what projects you're working on. Karen told me she was working on a Tunisian scarf, I believe was Tunisian shawl. She was on a Tunisian shawl. I am working right now on a short row Tunisian scarf. This is one of my classes that I teach. So if you're interested in this, I would love to teach this one online too. It's learning short rows in Tunisian while making a scarf. And this one is actually the first project in a very long time that I'm doing for myself. So I'm very excited. So what are you guys working on? You're not working on anything at the moment, but usually you make shawls. I think I remember that about you. You bought a couple of my shawl patterns, haven't you, Anna Louisa? Pretty sure that's what you bought from me. Shawls are my favorite. I will be honest. I am really starting to love designing garments. But shawls are, I think, will always be my first love. So this Tunisian hook this is actually a clover Takumi bamboo hook. And normally I don't like the bamboo. I can't use the regular bamboo hooks for crocheting, but for Tunisian, these are awesome. I don't know what the difference is. It's the interchangeable cords, so you can get the different lengths and everything. This one I actually got as a, the company actually sent me these for a class I taught. And so I've been using it ever since I was taught that original class. And I'm finding that for Tunisian, at least for these scarves anyway, I really like how these move with the scarf. I'm using I'm trying to remember the yarn. It's a Universal Yarns Classic Shades Sequins Light is the yarn. And I do it because, well, actually the original pattern came around because I used to work at my local yarn shop, and for our yarn shop tour that year, she wanted to use this yarn and wanted me to come up with a scarf pattern that was different. And because it had the bling and all that in it. So I was really playing around with Tunisian a lot back then. And I decided to do this scarf, the short row scarf. And this scarf was so popular on the tour that I had to develop a class for the shop. And then eventually I started teaching it nationwide at a lot of different events. And Universal has been so gracious because it was such a popular pattern when I was working at the shop that they told me anytime I taught the class to let them know, and they would send me yarn for all my students. So all my students always get at least a skein of yarn, this yarn to make I can't talk today, to make the scarf in class. Now, I don't know if I'm going to do that if I taught this live, but because I think this scarf pattern would be awesome in gradient yarns, a tonal yarn, all that stuff. I don't have the finished sample. It's boxed right now, Karen. I'm sorry. It's boxed up somewhere. So, but with this yarn, my favorite hook is for Tunisian is usually the Knitter's Pride, because of the two sets, or the two types of hooks that I have in my house right now is the clovers and the Knitter's Pride. And I tend to use the Knitter's Pride more. But for these scarves, I like this hook better so far. And Gina, I need to get a set of Likes because I really love them and I don't have any. I have one set of knitting needles and that's all I got. Karen, show the finished sample. The Denise interchangeables are good too. I haven't used them in a very long time. I do have a set of those. Plastic for me, I think I have them right here, actually. I'm thinking about it. Yep, I do. Yeah, I do have these. These are the plastic ones from Denise. They sent me a sample of these. The thing, when the old Denise, before they were bought by their new owners, I had a lot of problems with these because they would always pop off the connectors. But I don't know what they've done that's changed it, but I did a test run and I did a full-length scarf on these just to try these hooks out, and they don't pop anymore. My problem with plastic is I don't like the squeakiness. It feels squeaky, especially with wools on this. I don't know why. And cotton, because I do a lot of different things with Tunisian cotton on cotton for dishcloths. And for some reason, it just squeaks and it's like, oh, the chalkboard thing. So that's why I like these right now, because this does not squeak. This yarn does squeak on the Knitter's Pride, but it doesn't squeak on these, which is very interesting. So, but yes, that's what I'm using. And I know, Karen, these are your favorite hooks too. Let's see. Anybody else? The Denise interchangeables. How many of you have not tried Tunisian? Smaller plastic bands, but Denise makes larger. Yes, yes, I will give you that. The Denise larger size hooks are great for worsted and chunky yarns. That I will give you that. I mean, and they don't squeak as much for me, but I haven't done anything with those really large hooks in a long time. You guys know me. I'm the fingering weight, lace weight girl. In fact, the current project I'm working on, this is some leftover yarn from it. This is lace weight. So that's my secret project, so I can't tell you about it. But yeah, but lace weight is my or fingering is my sweet spot. So I tend not to do that. So Anna Louisa has worked Tunisian, but with those super long hooks, the ones. Okay, so you're talking about the ones that look like this. Let me pull those out. The regular Tunisian. This is a wood set that I never use, but I think this is what you're talking about. This style hook, right, Anna Louisa, where it's just a straight hook. I don't use these anymore. I got these hooks. These were Laurel Hill. This is Laurel Hill's wooden Tunisian hook set in a Lexi Barnes case. These are I'm aging myself now. I've probably had these hooks 15 years, if not longer. I used to do a lot of Tunisian on the straights, and then when the circulars and the interchangeables started coming out, that's when I switched over, and I'll never go back. Gina, I've only done a few basic Tunisian stitches, but I hope I am planning to do my Tunisian basics class for sure as one of my live classes. In there, I teach the basic stitch. I teach knit, purl, Tunisian simple, knit, purl, and then I go into eyelet, cross stitches, and a honeycomb stitch. But I teach them out of order because in teaching the class live, I've discovered that if I go, simple stitch, knit, and purl, then people forget what they learned in simple stitch, and so it doesn't make sense to them for the advanced stitches. So what I do is I teach simple first, then I do the cross stitch, then I do the eyelet, then I teach knit, and then I teach purl, and then I teach the what do you call it? Honeycomb stitch, so that you can you're building on what you've already learned. So it makes a lot more sense to people at that point. Yes, they are gorgeous hooks. I don't know if they still sell those hooks anymore, Anna Louisa. You can check Laurel Hill online. I'll type it in here. laurelhillonline.com. And they have some gorgeous hooks. They do. So it started with the dad, and now the son has taken over the business and making these hooks. And they source the wood from all over the world, and they only source woods that are replaceable. So, or they source wood that of trees that have died, and they get that wood. Those are palm, I believe, palm wood. I cannot remember off the top of my head right now, but I'm pretty sure it's palm wood. Yeah, so Tunisian seems to be the new up and coming thing. So if you're interested in that, those classes, those are some that I'm really considering bringing on first, for sure. Also, I talked about last week the double-ended crochet hooks, which is a form of Tunisian crochet. It's just that you're flipping the hook and you can use multiple colors in the same row kind of thing. So I'm going to do some of those as well. In fact, I might do just the basic stitch as a free video here on YouTube as well. So anybody else want to share what they're working on? I hope you guys are enjoying this. I'm starting to lose my voice again. It's that time of year with the allergies. I'm going to take a sip here of my coffee. Anyway, so I'm trying to think what else I can talk about with you guys. What's new? I'm going to be having I'm glad you could stop in. Thanks for taking some time to meet me. And it was nice to meet you too. I'm trying to think because I have a Mystery Crochet Along coming up, and I can't share anything of that yet, but it's in the works. Washington is reopening pretty soon. Not completely opening. Our construction people, we're allowed to fish. We're allowed to go to the parks now. We're as of May 5th, actually. So, and knitting a lace shawl. You know, I knit, but lace has always eluded me with knitting. I mean, I can do it, but doing the actual lace shawls that I have to have it so loose, bigger hooks, and then I have to block it for it to come out. I don't know why it scares me, but it does. So I'm really excited. I'd love to see what you're working on. Gina, what's your favorite design from? I have a really hard time picking one. I will be honest, the book is dedicated to my grandmother who taught me to crochet. The whole introduction is about her. Here, I'll show you guys the picture of her as a baby and her passport picture. So there's a lot of memories in here. So it's really hard to pick one. But if I did have to pick one, and you guys won't see this on social media yet, but I'll give you a sneak peek. This is the cardigan called I can never say this word, especially when I'm feeling like this. It's simplicity in English. La simplicità. Le simplicità. And the reason it's my favorite is, well, there's two reasons. It's one of my favorites is because, first of all, my grandmother never went anywhere without a cardigan on. I mean, even in her house, working in the kitchen, she always had a cardigan on. And then the second reason is a very simple pattern. That's why it's called simplicity. It's it's got very simple but truly classic Italian lace at the bottom, but then the rest is all double crochet. And it's a very simple construction. So there's not a whole lot of shaping. It's mostly around the neck and the arm openings that they're shaping, and that's it. And actually, no, I take that back. There is no armhole shaping. It's a drop sleeve. So literally, when you make the pattern, it's straight all the way up to here on the armhole side. There's just a little shaping here at the neckline. So it's very, very simple, and it's a fast make. So that would be my I guess if I had to pick one, that would be my favorite for those reasons. I can't wait for you guys to get the book. I mentioned this at the beginning of the stream, but the book will go on pre-sale May 18th for my newsletter subscribers. If my wholesale customers will actually get to start wholesaling it, the pre-order start on Friday, just because I want to be able to have enough time to get them their books before the book launch. But it's a great first sweater, Karen. It's a really great fur sweater because it's mostly double crochet and the lace is mostly chain and single crochet stitches. So that's what's cool about Italian lace. Italian lace is, I mean, it's very simple. It uses the basic stitches, single crochet, double crochet. Italians are known for using the taller stitches, you know, triple, double, triple, 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 quadruples. I mean, you will see Italian lace with all those really tall stitches in them. I did not use them in the book because I wanted this to be a beginner, not a beginner, but someone who feel comfortable working with Italian lace. And Italian lace, it's known for simplicity. It's known for its just basic lines. It's known for using chains, kind of like Irish crochet, where Irish crochet uses a lot of chains to join things together. Italian lace does the same thing. One of the unique things about Italian lace is that if they do a chain to connect like motifs, they will always cover that chain with single crochets and picots. And then they use those picots to add joins and things like that. If you want to talk Venetian style lace is literally, it's kind of like freeform crochet, except there's no three-dimensional shapes to it at all. The flowers are flat. The basic shapes are squares, rectangles, triangles, and circles. Sometimes they'll have some little lace, like in a circle, they might do a row of a double crochet, chain one, double crochet, chain one, double crochet, just to give it some eyelets in the circle. But otherwise, it's pretty much a flat piece. And then they're joined with these chains and covered chains and picots and things like that. That's another class I teach, is the Venetian lace. It's kind of one of those things that my grandmother taught me that I didn't really appreciate until I got older, and I've had to learn more about it as an adult and without my grandma being here. So, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's very delicate. But it's very much like freeform, which is another thing that's difficult for me because I am not a freeformer. I have to be symmetrical in everything. I don't know why, but with Venetian lace, I can do some little bit of freeform. That's about the only way I can do freeform. Yes, Gina, it would be a great first sweater. The one I did done in lace weight. Because I like lightweight cardigans. And that's my nonna always had lightweight cardigans. And I'm not a big, well, with crochet too, the stitches are so chunky that garments are hard to make in anything bigger than even a DK weight without looking chunky. I mean, to me, and because this is an Italian lace book, I went with the smaller size, smaller yarns, but it crochets up so fast, so fast. It's because it's all basic stitches. So the lace is probably the hardest part. Not even hard. It's just, like I said, chains and single crochets, but it probably takes the longest to grow because it's so short. Me too. I have to order no willy-nilly free. Yeah, you have to have an order like me. Yeah, it's a mental thing. It is a mental thing. Some of the freeformers out there have tried to get me to do freeform at different events. And, you know, I'll start making these motifs, but then it's like, okay, as I start putting them together, okay, I have the flower here. I need a flower over here. So it's kind of comical if you watch me do something like that, because everything has to have balance. But yeah, no, I'm excited for this book to come out. If you're following me on Instagram and Facebook, this week I just posted, I post Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the patterns. And today's pattern is this one, Il Velo da Sposa, which is translated to the wedding veil. And it's just a little topper. And it's hard to see here. it's kind of hard to see here, but there's a seam. There's two rectangles that are sewn together. And at the armholes, or at the bottom of it, I did not seam it all the way down. There's like a 15-inch gap between here, so that when you're talking to people or you're wearing it and you want to move around, you have a place to move your hands so you don't have all this fabric in your way. So you've got a little armhole to kind of, you could put your purse on your arm, or you're like me, an Italian who talks with her hands. You're not moving all this fabric. So that's what is coming today. And what I've done is I've released each design in order as the book has them. So this is today's. Tomorrow you'll have the next one in the book, and then Thursday you'll have the next one, and then next week there's only 2 left, I believe. So you'll have that one. Yes, and then next week you'll have the last 2 in the book. And then I'll be starting a lot of the promotional stuff about my nonna that you'll see coming up, and getting people ready for pre-sales. So anyway, so I'm going to stop talking about the book unless you guys have other questions. You can't do Zumba either, Karen. I haven't tried yet, so I don't know if I can or not. I'm more of a treadmill and bike and gym, stationary bike person. So anybody else have anything they want to talk about? Questions about the book, about classes, about what else is going on around here? I'm trying to think. My son is back at his house down 3 hours south of us, teaching classes live from home, or from his home now. He decided that he was all parented out. That was his his little thing. So he's teaching his middle school students virtually now from his house. My daughter's coming home in a couple weeks. I'm excited for that. She's graduating from college on May 9th, but with all of this, she can't walk. So she's coming home with her fiance, and we're going to do a little barbecue kind of thing. And I've made some appointments for, because we don't have a date yet for their wedding, because he's got another 1.5 years of school. But she knows she wants to get married here on this side of the state in the church that she grew up in and stuff. So we're going to be looking at some venues while she's here, just to get an idea what it's going to cost and what, how many people we can easily invite and that kind of thing. So that's what's going on here personally, besides the moves. I've got a lot going on in a short period of time. So I'm surprised I'm not more crazy than I already am. So does anybody else have any questions or want to talk about anything? Otherwise, I can just go ahead and sign off for now, and I'll see you guys next week around the same time. And in the meantime, if you have any questions for me, or want to tell me about a class that you'd like to see me teach, or anything else, just shoot me an email. You can go to my website at KarenHooley.com and use the contact form, and I, just give me, 48 hours to get back to you, because I've been getting a lot of email lately, which is really odd. But I'm glad to answer and chat with you, or if you have any other questions, let me know. So I guess that's going to be it. Are you going to crochet your daughter's wedding dress? No. No. I might crochet some things for her, but the dress itself is, no. She's very particular, which is good. I'm glad, but I don't think I'd have the time or the patience to do the dress that I would want, the type of dress I would want to crochet. So anyway, I'm going to sign off. And if you have any questions, again, contact me. Otherwise, I will see you here on YouTube same time next week. Talk to you soon. Have a great day and stay healthy.